Like, he is
Yeah.
definitely no slouch in the current meta. So Bait, second pick Juggernaut. Okay, now this is completely, like, all my analysis, I don't even know what to say about this. This is just weird.
Second pick Jug.
Like, they either have some, like, super cheese in mind, because even looking at the lane, I wouldn't even want to play Jug against Centaur, because your spin doesn't kill him, right? Like, the lanes where Juggernaut thrives are the lanes where your spin is more or less invulnerability, or your spin guarantees a kill with some kind of supplemental damage or a slow or a stun of some sort, right? Centaur doesn't really care that much, and a lot of the time he can just hit you. So that's what Jug doesn't like.
And Jug is very, like, last game we saw a lot of ban focus, honestly, from both teams around these BKB piercers. You know, Bane, Beastmaster, Doom was banned out last game as well. Like, Jug is not without counters. He's kind of a unique carry because he's really good with, like, early game 5-man. He's got this healing ward, which is pretty cool from a carry perspective. His ultimate is this really weird, like, game changer if used properly, but also kind of random that can backfire. He's got options, but it's a very specific play style, and it feels like a lot to reveal in your opener.
Yeah, I just want to be clear, by the way, for those of the people who are watching who might not be, like, super experienced with the game. Jug is only good in 5-man if healing ward supplements your push. Every other aspect of Juggernaut is actually really bad in a 5-man situation, because Omni, like you said, is very fickle, can bounce to a lot of different units or heroes or whatever, and not do enough damage to kill.
Word for it. My God, fickle.
Yeah.
That it is the most fickle ultimate in the game. I'll give you that one in spades, dude.
So the big thing with Jug is that he excels in small skirmishes when there's not a lot of physical damage, you know, no BKB piercing stuns. Those are the types of games that Jug likes to play. What he doesn't like to play against are super heavy, like, tanky frontline heroes where spin feels more or less ineffective because it won't ever threaten a kill. And being forced to defensively spin feels awful.
Yeah.
Like, if the spin TP gets you away, okay, fine. But if you're just being forced to spin a lot of the time, you're going to feel relatively uncomfortable on Jug. And I play, like, predominantly safe lane, so I've played enough Jug to know that when I see heroes like Rubik and Centaur, I'm already thinking to myself, okay, maybe not Jug this game. But we'll see what happens. Maybe they have some other plan. Maybe it's a 3, maybe it's a 4. I don't know, Zyori, but I got to be honest with you, I cannot abide a second pick Jug.
The Dendy Jug, get ready, dude. Prepare your
there
body.
Has to be a reason, though, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, he's played Dota for so long, he has to know the same things that I know. There's no way he doesn't know them.
Well, a lot of hard carries banned out. Now they grab Grimstroke, another good enabling support. We've seen this combo many a time. Jug, Grimstroke, Inkswell, very nice to have on the Juggernaut.
So there's another kind of issue right now with Bait's team, is that besides Omni, right, like, or like auto attacking from Jug or whatever, which I'm not even sure how much he's going to get to auto attack this game based on how Cyberium pick, is that all their damage is magic. Like, spin is magic, all of Earth Spirit spells are magic, all of Grimstroke spells are magic. There's no Soulbind combo yet. It could be the mid hero that gets that combo. Maybe they go with, like, Leaner or something. I'm not sure. And Lifestealer is ultra good against pretty much all 3 of these heroes. The only thing that I would say is nice against Lifestealer here is Omni Slash, but things like Halberd have become a lot more prevalent, which kind of give Lifestealer that super kind of tanky feel. You can just go like Armlet Halberd or Armlet Deso or whatever, and you'll feel quite strong even against Juggernaut, who traditionally, these heroes kind of just don't care about each other. One rages, the other spins, are just like, eh. And then if Omni's up, then Juggernaut has a slight advantage. But yeah, I'm liking Cyberium's lineup quite a bit more here.
Lifestealer is a little scarier. It's like Jug has options that feel a little more fragile. Maybe it's harder to execute, whereas Lifestealer just kind of has to build the right items and be present in fights. It does seem like these days with Lifestealer, now that we're not seeing these ultra greedy builds like Midas into Radiance. So that used to be the MO for Lifestealer. You farm, you get these 2 key items, and then at like 20, 25 minutes, when you get a +1, you start fighting and you take over the game. Now, it kind of feels like you really need to build in some infest ganks. You can't just play him as a static farmer, or else you're kind of hurting yourself. But they've got Centaur, and I think he's obviously a fantastic Lifestealer carrier for mid-game. See 2 more pickups now, though. The Prophet for Bait into the Jakiro for Cyberium.
I like Prophet because it gives a base team, like, for lack of a better word, purpose. Like there's a reason now to have Healing Ward because it supplements your 5-man push. You can use treants and stuff to take objectives. It's okay-ish in lane, and Cyberium like snap picks Jakiro because he's one of the best supports at laning against Prophet. Dual Breath and Liquid Fire are great mechanics at being able to kill treants, and Nature's Prophet just got an armor nerf. I think it was 2 armor he lost in the most previous patch, and so far there's not really a ton of catch for the hero. It's mostly just Stampede and Blink Dagger and Centaur. So I feel like the Prophet can play the map, which is really good for bait because up until that point, there was some ganking potential, but there wasn't really a tremendous amount of wave clear. You have like Stroke of Fate and Spin, and that was kind of it. So to really utilize Prophet to the fullest, you want other ways to pressure the lane besides just him. If he's the only one pressuring lanes, it feels really bad because it can just directly address you by always TPing to where you are. And that's just kind of like, doesn't feel good.
You have like a target on your back for sure.
Yeah.
Normally in this position, I'd say I like this Prophet because this could be a flex pick, a position 3 or a position 2. In the case of bait, I don't know if Dendi really plays it. I'm trying to recall if he's run it mid recently. And
the Prophet?
Yeah.
I don't recall it necessarily being a hero that he plays. He played like all the traditional mids, right?
I think so. Yeah, I guess I could pull up Dota Buff and look at the history here, but I'm pretty confident this is a position 3 and they're just going to pick an offlaner. I don't think this is much of a curveball.
Yeah, it's a Gossip classic for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see it played as a 3. I mean, Earth Spirit Prophet lanes also, it's nice because it lets the Earth Spirit rotate away from top if he wants to without feeling really bad about it. Like some offlaners, if you leave alone, you're gonna be like, oh god, I wish my my forward position was actually in the lane so I could play the game. But Prophet, he doesn't really suffer from that, so it'd make a lot of sense to put him in the off lane just for the sheer fact that it would loosen up the Earth Spirit's early game to where he could go for runes, he could maybe make a play on mid depending on who they pick.
Yeah,
and just opens up options.
That's a fair point. And to confirm, looks like in Dindy's like recent history, he's played Queen of Pain, Puck, TA, Zeus, Ancient Apparition, Viper, and Storm Spirit. That's lived in like the last.
I mean, besides AA, those are about as classic as it gets in terms of mids.
Well, I guess for Dendy, to be fair, how far back you want to go, AA mid is pretty classic. Maybe too classic.
Time. Him and Sumail, I think, were the 2 who did that the most, right?
Yeah, he did win that AA match for what that's worth. I didn't watch that one, but they did secure a W.
Okay, they banned Lina here. What's their... they have overall last pick for bait.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if they also want... Like they banned Razor and Lina. So it's probably a hero that doesn't have an escape mechanism, because Link would be really annoying, so it's probably not Queen. And Queen would be a bad matchup into Lifestealer anyway. It could be Invoker. Wouldn't be the worst Invoker game.
Now, how about the TA? Okay.
Okay, now I think it's definitely Invoker with these bans. Like Conka, TA, Razor, and Lina are all really good against Invoker.
Ember now
what they do.
for Cyberium.
Yeah.
I like
it's still a good Invoker game.
Another good Lifestealer carrier as well for Cyberium Seed. Really rounds out their draft pretty nice. A great space creator for the Lifestealer. It's
a low cooldown hero that isn't threatened by Jug, which is really nice. You can Sleight of Fist to stop the Jug ulti. You can just Remnant away. Flame Guard is great. Stops a lot of the incoming damage from the Earth Spirit and the Grimstroke. So yeah, it's a solid overall pick. Bader actually thinking about this makes me think it's not Invoker, because the last 4 bans are all like counters to
I'm
Invoker,
having trouble coming up with a better suggestion here.
Yeah, I mean, there are heroes that definitely can do well against Ember. It doesn't have to be. It made the most sense to me logically. Is it mid Jug? Is it mid Prophet?
Oh my god, it's mid Prophet! Holy! Okay, wow, Dendi with the curveball. Okay, Draskell, maybe this is showing some adaptation.
Does he even have a game of Prophet on his Dota buff?
I mean, not in recent history. Let me go. Let's dig a little deeper here. Let's see, Nature's. He has played 4 games of Nature's Prophet on his esports profile.
Okay.
So this is in officials, and it looks like the last game was in 2014.
So not inspiring confidence is what you're saying.
Well, maybe he's again. This is esports profile, not like his pub profile. So maybe he's been practicing it. But yeah, in a competitive game, Dendi has not played Nature's Prophet in a long time. So I stand by what I said earlier in the draft, but I also admire that Bait are breaking out of their norms, right? They kind of baited us by doing something different. Now, is it enough? That's the real question here, Draskell. Is this mid-Prophet actually good here?
I feel like it will do okay in the lane. But as far as how the Ember and the Prophet like play the map, I think the Ember is going to be pretty happy with it, right? Like, does the Prophet really threaten you without something like an Orchid? Do you play
Not
well
really.
into either position 1 or 2 on the side of Cyberium as a Furion? I really don't think so. Like, Lifestealer doesn't really care about you. He can rage. He's going to have a quelling the whole game. Same thing with Ember. They can both just cut their way out of your Sprout. I'm kind of wondering if they're just not going all in on tempo. It feels like what they really want on Bait is to just do okay in their lanes and just start mowing down buildings. That literally seems like their whole game plan. Because I wouldn't necessarily favor them in the late game. And I don't think that they're like necessarily weak in 5-man, but that's mainly because of the sustain. Like Abishield, having the coil, the healing ward, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's all really strong. It's a very straightforward way to play the game, which I think is probably good. Considering last game, I thought their draft was nice and they just couldn't really play the heroes. Or like play the strategy the way they wanted to, I guess, is a better way to say it.
Yeah, I would expect the lanes to be much more even than what we saw last game. I hope, at least. But
yeah, I'm just a bit concerned that I just really feel like this Prophet is going to be feast or famine, you know?
Yeah, and I'm a little worried that they might get
you-
outscaled. It's like Prophet Jug versus a Lifestealer Ember. Lifestealer Ember sounds a little easier and a little more straightforward in terms of the game plan.
So here's another thing about Prophet for those who are unfamiliar. If there's more than one hero that can just stand in lane against you, it feels really bad to be Prophet. Because you want to force very powerful specific heroes to TP to your lane in order to threaten you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if the Lifestealer, the Ember, and the Centaur can all just sit in the lane and be relatively unobstructed, that gives me a bad overall feeling for how much impact you're going to have in the game.
Yeah, I would say that that's a fair analysis. Looks like 3 runes come out for the Dire. Nice start for Bait. 3-1.
Yeah, I'm just... I'll reserve my judgment until like 10, 15 minutes, and we'll see where the state of the game is.
Okay. All right. We'll get an update here momentarily. Folks, reminder, you can see odds for this match from our partner, EGB.com, the oldest esports betting website on the internet. Join us to enjoy all of its advantages. Do you agree with the odds? They give you 100% bonus on your first deposit. I believe there is a banner below the stream you could click on, and that will take you to where you want to be if you want to place some bets over at EGB. Now back to this mid lane. Mastermind versus Dendi.
If I was a betting man, I would probably bet on Cyberium.
Yeah. I
I'm just saying.
I probably would be as well. At least the state of this game and after seeing how game 1 went. Maybe last game was a fluke. You know, Dendi needed to get a little warmed up, and here we are in game 2. See if he can do better with the Prophet. Not off to a great start. This wave is pushing in, though. Let's see how many of these Dendi can get. Mastermind gets a deny. 6-3 compared to Dendi's 2-2.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the matchup in general. Like, so Furion, he does a lot of damage. The Treants are pretty annoying, but he can't break Flame Guard. So because he doesn't have any form of magic damage, what Mastermind's going to do is he's just going to pop Flame Guard off cooldown and just shove the wave into Dendi the entire laning phase. Like, and by doing that, he ensures that there's going to be a minimal amount of denies. And because Dendi will be CSing under his tower at least a fair amount of the time, it also means that he's going to be missing a lot of his own creeps. So it's, I don't know, it doesn't seem like super promising for this matchup. I'm wondering what idea he had that he thought that this would be like the play. Because they could have just picked a different hero, right? They didn't have to pick Abba.
Well, similar to what you said, up top. Looks like Rubik will be okay. The Crystallis very low as well. What you said last game about that TA Invoker matchup, where like, yeah, the lane is great, but then what's your game plan after the lane is done, and how does that affect your timing? Maybe some similar logic there of like, yeah, this isn't an amazing lane for the Prophet, but you can do shenanigans like this. You have free TPs to constantly go back to the well without much punishment. So even if you don't win the lane, you still have a lane, and it's more about the broader plan that we'll see in the next 5 to 10.
he's kind of getting owned, right?
Well,
Like it's 6 and 5 versus 15 and 5.
yeah, I mean, I guess
But
I'm
I don't
talking about
disagree
the
with
formula. Maybe the
Bottom
variables are
lane.
wrong. Yeah, I'm looking at Puber here. He's locked in, and that's going to be a first blood drawn by Ghostic. And now Lil Pleb, he's in kind of an awkward spot himself. He's going blow for blow, has the rage, and it looks like that'll keep him safe. Also some stick charges there. Although they're going to continue to pursue. Ghostic has been all over them in this lane. Now the open wounds, slowing things down. Looks like Yond will die elsewhere. This is the great chase, though. Can they get Lil Pleb?
Ooh, nice self.
It doesn't look like it. Puber comes in to save him.
Turnaround kill? Oh, okay.
The
Honestly,
taunt?
I think you should just die there.
Yeah, because now
Like,
what do you
that's-
do with 5 up? You have to TP home anyway.
Yeah.
It's even
Yeah,
worse.
It's actually just bad to salve there.
So, yeah, back towards mid. It's not getting too much better. Dendi getting, like, doubled up right now. And those 9 denies, a lot of those are on Treants, too, right?
Yeah, I mean, a few of them are. But the whole thing about Ember is, like, once he hits 6, he can play however he wants. He can just go top. He can go bottom. Like, they're well, he probably won't go bottom.
Speaking of
It's
top,
battle lane.
not enough damage to kill Sam.
Dendi gets a bit lucky here. Rune spawns bottom. Is he going to TP? I think. Okay, no, there are spirits here. That's fine. Misses the roll.
Oh, Mastermind taunting his way back. Level 5 should be going down. Need a few more love taps, and they've got it. Dendi will find credit.
All right. That's good. That kill is really good.
The 4-minute
A little
flip.
bit unlucky.
Yeah, haste rune.
Yeah, Cyberium get the rune spawn in the wrong way, and it was a haste rune, which I think is pretty much the only rune that would have killed him there. Bottom as well.
Roll back in onto the Jakiro. Open wounds onto Ghostic. And he'll be repelled. I think they can get this kill on the Jakiro, although Ghostic is probably going to go down. Lil Pleb will find the first. 5 up, still chasing. Roll.
Nice block.
Intercepted. And now he's going to have to TP out again. He lives, so good call there, but not great.
And top as well.
Another kill onto Yond as the Rubik Centaur combo dive past the tower.
Yeah, there's
And
lots of kill potential in all these lanes, really.
yeah. And it looks like it will be a rune advantage for the Radiant. Dendi grabbed one of them.
I mean, Dendi's recovering, which is good.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
actually winning the net worth battle now. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, the bounty runes will help with that. So, off a little bit of a shaky start, but it's stabilizing.
Yeah, I guess the CS score also gets inflated because the Ember Spirit kills the Treants too. So his like 33-7 isn't a true creep kill 33-7.
Yeah. I mean, he did get killed too, so he lost a little bit of money when he died when the
True.
Spirit ganged him.
Yeah, that's a good
The other thing too to note here for Cyberium is the top lane is going very well. Centaur is living the dream. Sam having another great game, or another great start at least.
Yeah, Sam's looked pretty solid. Not a player that I'm familiar with.
He's getting really good lane matchups though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like this lane is great for Centaur.
He's still pushing it to the edge, Draskell. They're giving him the opportunity, but he's seizing the day. And it looks like you might have caster cursed him here, bud. Thanks a
I
lot.
really did.
Great
I
work.
really, I'm so sorry.
Sam
Bottom
down.
as well.
And Ghostic, ooh, might actually live. Now 5 up, rotates in. Maybe a counter kill on the way. Nice dual breath, connects on 2. Now the roll forward, and it looks like they'll have to settle for a Jakiro. More body blocks. Look at 5 up. This is an experienced body blocker here. As mentioned, it knows the Earth Spirit well.
That's what is really good at, because obviously when you roll, you go through the hero. You end up on the other side. So if they're running away from you, you always are in a position to block after your roll. It's really nice. Top.
Oh, Yond again. Looks like he's going to get killed by this combo. Inkswell might set up a counter kill. Sam very low, but he's just so beefy. Crystal is not going to have an option to finish him off.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was speaking about during the draft. Centaur is actually so tanky that he can live through the entire combo and just get a counter kill. That's kind of why I wasn't really a huge fan of the Jug. I mean, it makes sense from the standpoint of what their draft wants to accomplish with like the Fury on mid and like pressuring objectives and stuff. So that part I get.
Yeah,
But as far as the lane for the Jug, it's not really that nice.
No. It is cool to have old Centaur back, though. Down bottom, I guess we'll hold that thought as they roll into Lil Pleb. They force out a Rage. More battling down here in the bottom, but, yep, level 6 on Lifestealer. Now he's got Infest. And might even go in looking for something aggressive, but also hard against the borrowed time. I doubt we'll see much. But, yeah, Retaliate was getting a little old. And I don't know if when they changed him, you tried maxing Retaliate in its current state. But, yeah, that build is not a thing.
So it's definitely way, way worse, yeah.
But we've got Old Centaur back, where you actually level up Hoof Stomp, Double Edge, and like feel good about it. You feel like you can bully a lane and do burst damage. It's a nice change of pace. Bottom lane.
Puber here. He's a goner.
And back up top. In on Jug. He's only level 5. Does have some stick charges. Maybe the turn on to Sam with the Ink Swell. Rubik, can he clean this one up? Not quite. Needed one more after that auto attack.
If he didn't crit there, I think the Jug would have died. Because the auto wouldn't have killed him, and then there might have been time for a double edge, and a double edge would have killed the Jug instead. A little bit unlucky. It's only level 1 crit.
And a reminder to all y'all out there wondering why Bait have these stand-ins. Apparently there are some big-time internet issues in Belarus where 2 of their players are located. So unfortunate that they couldn't play today, but I don't think it's anything more than internet-related. A little pleb down bottom looking to set something up onto 5-up. He'll roll out. And Ghostic will have to retreat as well.
So far, pretty even. The one thing that's really kind of troubling is the Juggernaut's farm. I mean, obviously, when you first phase pick your one position, you're probably not expecting to have a great time. But he's got like 29 CS at 9 minutes. That's rough.
They'll now roll in again onto the Centaur. Just tickles him at this point. And Dendi, and we haven't talked about him in a couple minutes, but he's doing very well. He's #1 on net worth, still maintaining this nice edge over the Ember Spirit. Both of them focused on farming up the jungle. Ember has his phase boots now, bottle up, and Dendi making good progress towards an Orchid first item.
Yeah, this timing is key. He needs to make a lot happen with this. They want towers, they want, big key core kills, things like that. Being able to collapse on like the Jugs lane, for example, take that tower, take, safe lane towers. Gossick is just going in on his Shakiro.
Yeah. Position 3 Abba, this is where he excels. That Curse of Avernus is very annoying. But Lil Pleb also pretty good at trading right clicks. Battle for the bounty, and Ghostic. Naturally, he's on a mount, so beats him to the rune. Lil Pleb gonna have to head back to friendly territory. Looks like runes went 2 for 2 with the haste rune again going to 5-up. Maybe looking for a gank opportunity. Wrap around onto the Jakiro. And that'll force a TP down here from the Rubik. And now 5-up, kind of in the danger zone. 3-on-1. Magnetize, the kick, the roll. Hey, it's Dendi. That's a turnaround. They've got Puber down. And now maybe looking for Lil Pleb. Infest, of course, available. Hops inside of a creep. The power
nice
of the
little
Prophet.
Play there. Yeah, little bait, I guess you could say, from the Earth Spirit.
Now they
he actually jumps
in.
out. Where's his... He has Rage? He's going to have to pop it after the 3rd hit. Yeah, there we go.
And now the TP back in from Jakiro. Beautiful Ice Path. Dendi, a little bit low. Gets the Aphotic Shield. That'll help him out quite a bit, but now Big Bad Centaur's here. No Stampede. Ice Path up in a couple seconds. Macro Pyre comes down. They find 5-up. He'll try to roll out, and he actually lives. Abba Shield helps him out quite a bit, but now Dendi down. They'll find one more. It looks like Yond also going to get caught. Ends up all 5 heroes from Cyberium Seed make the rotation, but they are handsomely rewarded with a nice set of counter kills.
I mean, it was pretty much their entire team, right? Everyone from Cyberium came to defend that building. They I think they know what Bait's game plan is. Just try to get that early tower momentum going. You have the Furion, you have like this Jug. He does get quite a bit of damage on the mid-tier 1, by the way. Crystallis while his team was fighting bottom. So
yeah. And
even though they lose some heroes, they lose some heroes, he gets some farm, he gets some tower damage. So it could have been worse. They really need this Orchid. Okay, here we go. Now he's got it.
Yeah, and
the Orchid opens up kill potential on basically anyone on Cyberium at the moment.
And Drum just about done on Crystallis, so Jug at least getting something to maybe contribute an Omni Slash to these fights and not feel too bad about it. It is a little scary for Bait that they're not able to get this tower momentum going. 12 minutes already, still haven't killed a tier 1. We'll see a roll onto the Jakiro again. Rubik here trying to defend, but this one's going to be tough, and the Orchid does secure the kill. So it looks like they'll find this first tower. Still a 1K net worth lead for Cyberium Seed right now. Handling this pressure so far just fine.
Yeah, they already have heroes positioned on the other side of the map. The Rubik is pretty much the only one who can't necessarily do much in either of the other side lanes, so he's occupying bottom for the EXP. Cyberium have a good hero split right now. They are going on mid. They'll be able to remnant back, though. Mastermind's going to be A-okay.
Oh, Stampede. Is this a setup down bottom? Sure looks like it. In onto Dendi. It's going to be close, but he will make the TP out. Dendi did the math.
Yeah, they just need to make sure on Cyberium, if they're not going to have a concerted effort to defend a tower, that they need people pushing other lanes like all the time.
Tier 1 tower mid. They will mount the defense. In comes the Ember. Now the turnaround. Yond, he's going to get left behind. Does drop a Soulbind. 5 up comes back in. No Magnetize, though. Very spread out fight, and they will actually find the kill on the Jakiro. Works out well for Bait so far. They lose 5 up in exchange, a 1-for-1. Can they make it out now? Crystallis does have Spin and Omni. Inkswell, Ghost Stick in the front. Remnant out, though. Slight dodge, rather. Mastermind still in big trouble. They bring him down. Ghost Stick goes down in exchange. Crystallis falls now as well. It's a really messy fight. A 3-for-3. Now the TP back in from Jakiro. Looks like Yond will be the final casualty. And at the very end, it does tip in favor of Cyberium. Rough for the Juggernaut to take a tumble. And the Lifestealers survive. Lifestealer also has a Midas, by the way. So he's got a nice farming tool built in. I don't know if we mentioned that.
Yeah. Midas is super common on this hero nowadays. He still loves the attack speed. Midas got buffed as well. Cheaper, bigger experience multiplier. And because Armlet Deso was a build on this hero before, now you can go Armlet Deso, and just by having a Midas in your inventory, you still accelerate at a decent speed. It's no longer just Armlet Deso and then pray to God you get kills. Now this item kind of keeps you relevant, even if you're not just killing the enemy team or getting objectives or anything like that. So Midas is kind of back on some heroes. Yeah. If you're not like a Battle Fury buyer, for example.
Oh, now we'll see the Jakiro. He's going to get caught. That's the Orchid. It's so easy for 5-up to play Earth Spirit when you have a hero like the Nature's Prophet. You can get into these sticky situations, and you've got this global Orchid there to back you up.
Yeah, it's super nice. I mean, you can see how mechanically good he is on the hero. Like, it kind of speaks for himself. Like, some of his escape attempts bottom, like how he uses his abilities, he's obviously, like, played the hero a crap ton.
Yeah. He's got the kind of sick and twisted mind that actually enjoys playing 2,000 games of Earth Spirit.
I mean, I play a lot of Pango, so I can't really blame anyone for hero maining, you know?
Oh, Stampede looks like a setup up top. They found Dendi. TP in from the Grimstroke to try and keep him alive, and they might just do it. There's the Soulbind, but Dendi stunned up down low. Double Edge finds the kill. Can they get some turnarounds, though? Magnetize flies. Sam looking like he's going to take a tumble alongside his Rubik, who's already 6 feet under. Infest Bomb, though, very nice. That actually does keep Sam alive. I spoke too soon. There you go. I do like that we're seeing this balance with Midas now. It's like, it feels so good to see Midas into Armlet on Lifestealer. Like, all right, I'm going to invest in this farming tool, but I still really want to fight. I really didn't like the Midas Radiance Lifestealer. That shit was just too one-dimensionally boring.
Yeah.
It was good. It was really good. I totally get it, but I didn't like watching it.
That's fair. That's a fair thing to say. Because Lifestealer is one of those heroes whose kit would kind of make you think that he was going to fight.
Yes.
Because he has magic immunity and a utility spell, and he's pretty sustainable. And back then, he did a lot more damage because they changed Feast after that meta was kind of over. But yeah, nowadays it's just buy an item to keep yourself relevant, and then 2 very efficient damage items, and then just go.
And speaking of go, they find Yond again. Quick, easy pick for the Lifestealer. A freebie, if you will. Still yet to take a tier 1 tower on the side of Cyberium Seed, but they are starting to get more aggressive now. Mastermind takes a silence, does have a Yule Scepter. Looking to maybe force out a borrowed time on Ghostic before anything too intense breaks out up top. Not going to be able to do that, but they do get the tier 1 tower. No real defense comes out of Bait. Crystallis now, what's he working on? He's got the Yasha, so he's going to go Manta into MKB on this Juggernaut.
Yeah, I like that. It's good. It's BKB piercing damage, which is great against Lifestealer. Against like Terror Blades or Dragon Knights or any of these high armor BKB buying heroes or natural magic immunity heroes, you kind of need it. Oh my god, that damage he's just did.
All right.
Okay.
Well, Crystallis was farming down bottom. They're going to even drop the tips on that. That's a 4-tipper, a 5-tipper. Oh, my. Draskell, the pentakill of tips.
Yeah, that's rough.
Oh, his morale.
Yeah, I mean, they did second phase pick Jug. I'm not sure how high a morale he had at the beginning of this game, but, you know. Yeah, Lifestealer is now the highest net worth. He's going to keep accelerating. He is going for the Deso, so not really too much of a surprise in terms of itemization. Yeah, I just wouldn't want to be the Jug this game. That's all I'll say.
Looks like they'll find a kill on Shakiro up top. Thought another fight might break out mid, but Bait do manage to escape. So finding little pickoffs here and there. The big issue is even though it's 14-14, it hasn't really felt like Bait's kills have amounted to much. You know, it's a lot of support pickoffs, a lot of like, yeah, that's a kill. And we'll see. Maybe they can get more here. Soulbind comes out. They connect on 2 that are coming in the back line, but now support is here. Sam might go down first, and Mastermind to follow. 2 big core kills. Okay. And maybe Juggernaut too. All right. Now we're cooking with gas. I think I might have just caster cursed Cyberium. Talk about kills that matter. That's all 3 cores, dude.
Look, we're playing equal parts. I curse one team, you curse the other, right?
Okay.
So now it's even. So the game is now fair. There doesn't need to be any more caster cursing or anything like that. It's going to be a pretty easy Roshan here.
It actually is looking even. The net worth will level out, and Bait sort of on the back foot. This Aegis will really help.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of a disconcerted like dive coming in from Cyberium. They were probably just feeling a little bit cocky.
I think so. You could definitely tell with that Centaur positioning. He thought he was going to jump in and find a free kill. And it goes the other way. Now they find the Jakiro as well. Mastermind jumps in, has some support. Bait actually pretty low. Sam doesn't connect with the stuns, but Mastermind does find the backline. He gets yawned. Double damage onto Crystallis, though. No Omni Slash, but he's ready to bring the pain. Silence onto Ember. There's the Yules. Lil Pleb in the back line. He gets Dendy. Aegis in the hands of Crystallis. It'll be utilized. Coming back in a couple seconds. Ghostic does not have borrowed time. He'll fall. Now the spin, TP home, and no interrupt. He will, of course, live, but all the spoils that Bait just picked up, well, they've gone by the wayside. And, oh, yeah, that Tier 1 tower that we dove past to get to the Tier 2 last fight, we're going to finish that off now.
Yeah, it seems like both teams are not shying away from the fight, which is good. Like, both teams kind of want to fight to some degree. Lifestealer is great, obviously, at the early engagements. Rage and Open Wounds are awesome. Infest is a great like team fight utility, also self-save. And then Bait kind of need to fight. Like, their lineup, I don't really think you want to play it late unless Dendy gets like Omega farmed and he gets like the Nullifier Bloodthorn thing going, right, and he can just solo kill cores. Then it's a little bit of a different story, but it doesn't look like he'll be taking that path. Right now he's got a Halberd selected after his BKB, so
yeah.
I think I mean it is an even game, but I wouldn't necessarily want Bait to go past like the 40-minute mark, for example, without dealing some real damage to Cyberium.
It's weirdly similar to the first game where it's kind of even, but at the same time, it really feels like it's not. It feels like Bait is just 1 or 2 mistakes away from really being in a bad spot. We'll see some escape plays up top. Looks like 5 up. Might be able to make it out. Another roll. Searing Chains will still grab him, but in the trees, looking for the TP, and the Yules is there. They will catch him. On the
They're going to lose the too.
Other side... Let's see, Lil Pleb, is he going to be able to chase him down and find this? I think so. No save available from Ghostic. So, yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, Bait are putting up kills, but it just seems so much easier for Cyberium.
Yeah, this time around it's kind of different, where last game, I think the Morphling could have eventually had superiority over the game if they had like laned and played correctly, but this game, the Jug is not the end-all be-all carry, and neither is Furion.
Yeah,
so
that's just not Jug's MO. Borrowed time.
All popped here.
This is a nice little tip for all y'all struggling against the Baden. Get a Yules, and when his ult pops, throw him up in the air. Then your teammates can't accidentally do damage to him while he's healing in the borrowed time. See, these are the ways to farm MMR, folks. You got to stop your teammates from harming themselves.
Just don't get griefed. It'll be fine.
Just buy Yules. It's a good item.
Dendi. He has his BKB, actually.
I think he's fine, but still, this is... I think that was the 9 and the 8-second charge, both used for basically that, just a quick TP home. And while it is nice to survive, it's sort of similar to using spin defensively on Jug, right? It's like, yeah, you lived, but you kind of want to use that to do stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a great look. The lanes are also kind of a telling story, right? Like normally when you have this Fury on, all the lanes are being pushed all the time and blah blah blah, but it's kind of what I was mentioning earlier about how none of the cores of Cyberium really care about Dendi's hero that much, and they all feel safe to be able to push to a pretty decent degree, and they're going to find Gaussic here again. He does have ulti, though. Should buy some time.
Some borrowed time here. Yule's Scepter not going to be there, but hey, Ice Path will do pretty much the same thing. Stampede, they'll be able to finish him off, but on the back line, they do lose Sam. Yond also falls. The Soulbind. Rubik probably going to go down. Crystallis will get that kill. A very awkward spread out fight. A lot of 1v1s, and the Jakiro will also get finished off. It looks like Cyberium are not going to come out on the positive side of this, though. They've got 4 dead. 5 up, trying to sidestep the Ember Spirit, and he does. Very nicely done there. And now Mastermind on the run. No Remnant for 6. No mana for Yules. Dendi cuts off the retreat path, hits him with an Orchid, couple of love taps, and Crystallis showing off some of that movement speed.
Nice. That was very well played.
Mastermind.
He might still be dead, but you have to give him props.
Yep. He's doing everything he can here, really making him work for it. Another slight, and they finally get him. So that is a 5-man wipe. Bait, again, find this miraculous team fight. I guess a big part of it was Crystallis just deleting Sam before it really started.
Yeah, it was a combination of them losing the Centaur immediately and also Mastermind just not being there. Like, he wasn't there at the start of the fight. He was very late to the engagement. They're still going here. Roll forward. They're
going to find the Jakiro yet again. Dendi with a BKB, but they get the counter kill onto Crystallis. Sam left unchecked that time. And able to find some punishment. Vengeance as he secures 512 gold for himself.
I wonder if there's like some beef here on Cyberium, because they keep tipping this Jug. They're not tipping anyone else.
I don't know.
Okay, they tipped Dendi, I think, once, but...
I wonder if it has to do with the pick, because I even saw people in Twitch chat before the delay saying the same things that you were, of like, all right, second pick Jug. Somebody explain this to me. I don't understand how this is possibly a good idea, so... I would imagine Cyberium might be thinking the same thing of like, yep, we're going to punish this, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the game is still too even, I think, to be, trash talking just yet.
Yeah, 56-44. Oof. Yeah, we're within a coin flip in terms of win percent.
Yeah, this is it's maybe not the right time. I mean, I guess Dota is mental warfare. Let's be real.
Oh, yeah.
If you can get inside the Jug's head, that's always going to be a bonus.
Well, the Halberd's out on a Baden. And does Dendi still want a Halberd? Yes, he's got it, in fact. So 2 Halberds now done for the Dire. Pretty handy. Stampede. Fight breaks out on the other side. It's a little pleb that gets caught, and he's just done. Omni Slash secures that one. And he'll be stuck on the sideline for 70 now. Bait are sort of doing it.
Yet.
Like, Dendi's #1 on net worth now by a nice little bump with back-to-back kills on the Lifestealer.
These fights are just really strange. Like, how does the Lifestealer get caught over there on his own? Like, they're obviously, like, Bait have the vision over there, so they can see what's happening, but Cyberium, like, there's no support in range. Like, the Centaur, he was up there, I think, with the Lifestealer to a certain extent, but, like, there was no save. It's really odd. Like, there's no Force Staff, there's no Glimmer on the side of Cyberium, and you're playing against Omni Slash and a guy with an Orchid and Sprout. Like, how is it that there is no save item on Cyberium?
It is peculiar.
That's one way to put it.
Are they building
I would say it's probably just bad. Like, why does your Rubik have drums?
Well...
That's just odd.
I guess
that is weird.
No one else bought drums, and I've heard people say if you don't have drums on your team, you're probably fucking up. So Somebody had to do it, I guess.
Yeah. All right. They're gonna catch
5 up.
Spirit
Yeah,
here.
he's not going to survive through this one. Drum might be good enough now that I don't know. I think you can make a case for a support grabbing it.
Yeah. I mean, Force Staff against Grim, like if they're soulbound together, obviously it won't matter. But
Yeah.
I do think that there's still some merit to having one. The mass TP is here bottom if they want to chase.
There is a Lotus on the Centaur also. And
It's a
bash on
bash.
Dendi. BKB about to expire. TP home, not going to happen. Dondo put down, and they will find this Grimstroke also. Been a tough game for Jan, and we'll continue on here now 0-10 on the Grimstroke.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough when there's Stampede and a Lifestealer in the game.
Yeah.
You're more or less just going to... I mean, even the Ember is annoying, because Grimstroke's one of those heroes that's like high risk, high reward in these types of games. If you soulbind 2 cores together and you get your silence off, it feels amazing. But your positioning has to be immaculate like the entire game, because if they see you, you're pretty much dead.
Yeah, the Basher on Lifestealer is going to present a big issue. Something to finally cut through BKBs, and no surprise, he wants Abyssal next. Just right-clicks the Vanguard. Lil Pleb, you got caught here once before. Same story. Maybe this one will have a different ending. This time he's got some more friends. Yeah. 5 up makes it out, but now Crystallis, Ghostic, kind of left behind. Remember, Dendi's dead. No buyback for 25. This is at best a 4v5. Big Magnetize will start doing some damage, but the Omni Slash has already been used. 5 up's done. Crystallize very low. Crystallis, rather, very low. I'm so sorry, buddy. Now the Infest comes out. They get the bash. He's still on the run. Crystallis will survive, but way in the back, looks like Sam will be able to finish off Jan. So not a great fight for Bait. That was a buyback from 5 up, so some financial investment.
Yeah, they almost had enough burst to kill the Lifestealer, but Sam on point with the Lotus dispels the Earth Spirit Silence, enables Lil to pop the Infest and keep himself alive for the duration of the fight. If he had died there, it would have been a completely different story. And plus, Dendi was respawning too. Okay, they're gonna Stampede?
Not sure what that was for.
They didn't even have vision on the hill. I mean, I guess they saw Dendi walk by the outpost, right? That had to have been what it was.
I think so. All right, well, they'll walk into Roche. Cyberium.
All right, we got the 30-minute Force Staff. Sorry, we're on track here now. Cyberium have a save item.
Okay. MKB comes out on Jug, so Crystallis finally has something to do some real damage. I think the Manta was a worthy investment, and now he's got a hard hitter.
He's got a Mindbreaker too, which is fantastic for that hero.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Roche finally goes down. It's a little bit slow, but Bait don't get there in time. Aegis picked up on Lil Pleb. And I think Cheese right now in the hands of the Ember. Yep, who also has an Aghanim Scepter, another big item for Cyberium.
Yeah, this is just going to make Jan's life even more miserable, honestly. Because now the Ember's backline potential is way up there. Like, if he sees you, he's just going to be, like, Insta-Remnant. They're, like, even just Mastermind on his own probably has enough to kill Yond, even with like a Glimmer Cape, because once you get changed, even if you Glimmer, you're still visible because you're rooted.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you're gonna need like your Abba next to you all the time.
Back up to a 5K net worth favor now for Cyberium Seed. Dendi pressuring down bottom. Meanwhile, Cyberium do smoke up. It's like a half smoke. 3 of them.
I mean, they're playing up the hill right now, which is really nice for Bait. They have a ward too.
This is a little scary. Cyberium go right in, though. Stomp on 2. Yond gets deleted before the fight begins. 5 up follows suit. Yond will buy back immediately, but of course 5 up doesn't have it. On the other side, Yule's Scepter. Hey, I heard that was pretty good against Omni Slash, and now the Abyssal comes and Juggernaut is put to rest. Dendi down bottom. Another BKB TP. It'll be successful, but now back towards mid, they found the Abaddon. I don't know if Borrowed Time's going to be enough here. He does go for the TP,
Where's
and
the bash?
Yules
Oh,
is
Yules.
there. No bash needed.
Poor guy.
Yeah,
Man, he's quite tanky.
he is, but hard to 1v3 at this stage.
Yeah, he doesn't have anyone. He's just a goner.
See you
The
later.
slow, miserable death as the Abaddon player.
So that was a 4-0. A amazing initiation Like, actually, we say deleted a lot, but Yandi didn't do anything that fight. He didn't cast a single spell. He just died.
Yeah. I mean, that whole kind of situation was weird, right? Because up until the fight ended and they dewarded the hill ward, there was actually a ward on top of the Spire in Radiant's jungle from Bait. So they saw the entire area, and they had the high ground advantage, and somehow their 5 is still that far out of position, right? Like, that's kind of a problem. If there's no Soulbind, there's no Silence, there's no Inkswell, no nothing. He just insta-dies.
It's a 4v5.
Like, that can't happen.
It didn't even cost them anything. It's just Centaur going in.
You have the vision advantage, and you have the positioning advantage, and you are still not in the right position. Like, that's pretty bad.
Yep. Yep, I had that same conversation, with my my Q buddies yesterday. We had vision, and you still got caught. What the hell's wrong with you? I didn't have a good answer, Jaskell. I just said I suck.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, in the moment, they can see in all directions, but you want to stand next to someone because you're really squishy, and you feel like if there's no one next to you, you just die.
Yeah.
But just being out of vision, like standing behind a tree or whatever, is usually safer than standing out in the open as a guy who is going to be a priority target and is also very easy to kill.
I had a flashback to the old Dream League days with Purian Flax and Too Good and yourself and the old flames about the matches, and I just have memories of Ted being like, I mean, that is the play, but I just can't do it. I just can't use the spells fast enough. So you can tell me about the strategy all you want. I just can't.
No, that's a completely valid argument. There's a lot of people who know a lot about Dota, like a lot, but they just can't play the game. There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah. It's a great spectator game. It's so much more fun to backseat other people,
Oh, absolutely.
Dota is great for that. Possibly why it is such a great spectator game. I encourage it on my stream. Like, hey, if you guys can live vicariously through my pain, let's go for it. And talking about pain, mid lane, they get in onto Dendi. He does BKB though. He makes it back. Now the turn onto Mastermind, but Yule Scepter again gives him a reset. They're going to start to converge, but he remnants out. Soulbind does connect on 2. Omni Slash bouncing around. Yon still goes down first, but the counter kill onto Sam. Cheese used by Mastermind, and Sam will buy back. Now Dendi's in some trouble. Stuck in the middle of the fray, trying to TP out. It's a bold move, but he gets bashed up. Still sustaining, though. That's the Aegis on the Lifestealer. Cyberium maybe overcommitting a little bit. These tier 4 towers certainly helping out. Some extra damage, some extra armor. They get Mastermind. Now the buyback there. This is scary for Cyberium. They're going to try to overwhelm Bait now. Buybacks coming from the Dire. Ghostic will have to use his. Yond will be stuck on the sideline for 40. Cyberium, though, looking to go pretty much all in.
Yeah, Mastermind played that fight so well, actually. He bought so much time. He Yules himself to make sure that his Remnant would be off cooldown. They're going on Ghostic here.
All right, borrowed time. It came back, but again, they pick him up. No real follow-up damage. Now they jump in, and they're looking for the finisher. Abyssal Blade, right clicks, Lul Pleb. Just a bit too big.
Yeah, his game was pretty free. Minus the 2 or 3 times he was very out of position and died. Most of the time, he wasn't really being pressured too much. But that's how you kind of know one team has control over the match, is even the deaths don't really deter them, right? Like, they would die, and they even lost, like, Roshan and a bunch of heroes in one spot, and it still didn't really change the overall outcome of the game.
Well, this could be the final hold here. Still a tier 2 up top as they get a Soulbind onto 2 cores, but Sam and Lil Pleb, they just sustain through it. Now the Abyssal comes out onto Chrysalis. They don't care that he's spinning. All 5 still alive. And now the Jug falls. It's a 5v3, a tough hold for Bait. They're doing everything they can. They do get the kill onto the Jakiro, but now Yond and 5UP both go down, and they're going to be out of resources. This is going to be a 2-0 in favor of Cyberium Seed. Bait put up a good fight here in Game 2, but 39-28, they will get put to rest.
Yeah, it was a much better showing in terms of having a game plan and, like, a basic understanding of what your lineup needed to do to win. And their lane